Hey, hello. Welcome back again. This one's going to be a little bit different. And it's a little bit different because if you've been around the internet, not necessarily that you're old or not, but if you've been around the internet for a while, there you might be familiar with certain internet classics or things that happened in the internet that were unexpected at the time, that gained a lot of attraction, that called a lot of attention. And one of these things was something called Salad Fingers, where the character was very dreary, had a British accent. Don't make me do the British accent because I can't. But what it is that the creator, David Firth, has been working on other projects and has been adding more to the series. Um, just recently, he released a video called Plastic Hand. And the plastic hand, well, as the name implies, we open the scene with a man who is in a shoe store and he has a plastic hand. Now he's asking for a size 10 shoe, and while the store attendant, goes over and picks the shoes that he was wanting to try on, she comes back and says, well, we only have a size 10 and a half on this color and a size 10 in this other color. Which would you prefer? Stewart, the name of the character, he stops the timer and tells her, you just took too long. Stood up and left the store without saying a single word. On the next scene, we see him having a family dinner. Not just that, but he says something a little bit odd because he says, let's thank God. Well, you would think that he would say, oh, let's thank God for this meal. But he doesn't. He says, let's tell God to thank the hand or something along those lines, which is odd because you're not praying to a god, but you're telling the god to pray to a physical representation or something. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. But he does have, who is personally one of his children, kiss the hand, and while the other two just think that this is very, very odd, very strange indeed. We follow Stewart in the next room where he sees his wife and starts to really berate her, saying, oh, did you like the hand when you used it for, uh, let's say, for certain personal entertainment? And he starts mocking her and saying all these wild things about what he believes that she has done with the hand. And she just responds that she doesn't know what he's talking about, that what he's saying is not true. It's just not true. The following scene, he is at the bar where he's asking for a beer. And I kind of skipped over the part where he sees a woman while he's driving and says, "Oh yeah, shake it" or something like that. It's an odd scene to say the least. But when he reaches the bar, he asks for a beer. The bar the barman, he does give him a glass of beer, but as the steward is trying to grab the cup with the plastic hand, the cup slips. The barman apologizes and offers him another one. And Stewart just laughs it off, saying, well, the first one goes to the Lord or goes to the hand, something like that. And the next scene, he is at home again. He is in his bed. It seems like a twin bed, all alone. And he seems to be resentful. He says that he is jealous because the hand, let's say, performed a certain entertainment value for his wife, and that he hasn't been able to do so for his wife. So he is asking the hand if why he shouldn't also be entertained by this very same hand. The hand grabs this, you know, this, it becomes like a sentient being at this scene and tells him, well, you are not worthy of it. You really are not worthy. When one of his children comes in, Stewart stands up and gets close to his child, saying, you know, I want you to take the hand bowling, buy him a golden watch, a very expensive watch, and a very nice cigar. The hand tells Stewart, well, you're not exactly, this is not going to work. This is not going to work how you think it is. So on the next scene, we see Stewart and his son at the bowling alley, where he uses the hand to push the bowling ball, and the hand does have an expensive watch, and there is a nice cigar on the table. And Stewart just, even though the bowling ball didn't really hit, it didn't really make a strike. There was only a few pins that actually fell down. Stewart still says, "Good job, you," and starts to high five the plastic hand. All the while, the son seems a little bit dead inside. Now, this is a very short video, and this is kind of like the sequence of events that we see happening throughout Stewart's day. What exactly is the plastic hand? That was my first question. What exactly is this? What is the story behind all of this? If you've seen Subtle Fingers and you've seen some of the videos surrounding the theories of, the background information and the world building in Subtle Fingers, videos such as from MatPat from Film Theory. Now, he really explains to the core what it is about. Well, the same thing you start asking about this video. Like, what is the plastic hand? What is going on? In the dinner table scene, Stewart really seems to have this cultish mentality around the hand, where the hand is kind of this representation of God. Now, in Christianity, if you look at the significance of the left and right hand, in Christianity, the right hand of God, represents comfort. It represents happiness. It represents kindness from God. However, the left hand of God represents judgment, punishment. It's the consequences for the evil doings. So now again, what is this business with the left hand? At the beginning, I wasn't sure if it was really a plastic hand, because if you notice in the real world, when you see mannequins, they usually don't have that tone of color. It's usually like a white or an off-white, a beige, or different tones of brown. So it's not really like that, right? So I thought, well, maybe it's not really made of plastic. It must have been made of something else. But the bigger picture is that if you notice from the very beginning, when he's at the shoe store and he times the assistant and then walks away, he is effectively punishing the assistant for taking a long time, for what he perceives to be a long time, to be offering assistance to him as a customer. So the way he punishes her is by not staying in the store as a customer and leaving. If you look at the dinner table, there is this cultish attitude about, all right, we're going to praise the Lord, and he puts it into one of his children's face to kiss it. Very much akin to how, and this might offend some people, but when you talk about who are effectively called born again Christians, people who might have acted in a certain way that would be condemned. Like, oh, you get drunk, or you get drugs, or you are promiscuous, or you're this or that. People who have been doing things that would be taken as not being moral, even if it's not, oh, you deserve to rot in hell or stuff like that. But it's more like, you're not supposed to be doing that. And people who have gone down the far end to the point where they're rock bottom, and then when they want to rebuild themselves, they turn to faith, to a religious faith, and say, well, God is giving me a second chance, and blah blah blah. You see this mentality in which they overdo it, because now they're reborn as a Christian, therefore reborn again Christians. They seem to want to push Christianity and their faith in everybody's faces. Look at me, I'm virtuous. This is wrong. This is what is right. They're really emphatic and very, they go overboard with it. And this is what it seems that is happening in that scene, because he pushes the hand to his daughter's face, and it's almost like they don't want it, but he's forcing them to interact with the hand. He's pushing his faith into his children's faces. When we see the scene with his wife, and this is where we can tell a couple of things. One, the fact that she's not in the dinner table with the rest of the family means that she feels alienated in a certain way. It's almost like he is neglecting her, or like she's feeling unloved or even abused in some way. So when we go back to the scene where he's on his bed saying, why don't I deserve this? Why are you giving a reward to my wife? Even if that's not happening, that really shows that the hand is now punishing him. He's being punished by the hand. If we go back in the scene of the bar, again, he's using his hand to grab the beer. It's almost like, no, you're not going to drink. So where am I going at with all this? And I'll touch on the last scene a bit, because I think that kind of tied it in for me. I believe this video is a story about a man who gets drunk, a man who neglects his family, who neglects his children, his wife, to the point where he is almost a stranger to them. And when he does try to spend time, he tries to overcompensate. Now, why do I say this last part? In the final scene, where he tells his son, buy this this watch, buy this cigar, go spend time with the hand. It's kind of like him, as a father, compensating the lost time with his son by saying, we're going to do this, this, and this. And the hand, by saying, this is not going to work, is like the hand saying, you spending money and spending time at this moment is not going to fix the lost time that you have with your son. The time that you didn't spend with him, the time that you didn't spend knowing him, the childhood that you will never get back from him, because you were off doing, getting drunk or doing other things. So ultimately, what is the story about? I believe this story is about the hand punishing Stewart. It's his punishment for neglecting his family, for getting drunk, for not being a family man, not being a husband, not being a father, not being present. And now he's using that hand to punish others, just like he punished the assistant. Am I off? Am I going crazy about this? Am I overthinking it? Maybe I missed something. I don't know. Maybe Matt Pat will come with a theory that might disprove me and might say something else. And it might come across as a better plot. I don't know. But these are my thoughts as of now. There's only one episode with one video about this. Because again, it's just released as of I'm recording this video. It was done yesterday. So that's where I say that's my thoughts on the video and what is going on in the picture. At any rate, if you have your own thoughts on what's going on, feel free to comment down below and let me know. All right, take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and remember, always remember, be kind to those around you. You never know what they're going through. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.